What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
You want healthy children. Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham. Breaking news into the Fanfare newsfeed.
All right, y'all, before we begin the actual show, we do have a bit of breaking news that we have to get to. It's important breaking news, and it's related to what we're going to be talking about today. Breaking! This here, Fani Willis is not having a very good day. Not at all. Breaking! The Fulton County District Attorney is found in court to have violated federal law by failing to produce requested records or provide valid reasons for withholding them. Fani Willis has been ordered to release all communications she has had with Special Counsel Jack Smith and the January 6th committee regarding her RICO case against President Trump. She has withheld all that information. Obviously, they had some communication. Despite being served on March 11th, 2024, Fani Willis did not respond by the April 10th deadline, just blew it off. She later claimed she misunderstood the court's directive. I didn't know. Willis also argued that the demands jeopardized her RICO case against President Trump and his allies. The Fulton County Superior Court granted Judicial Watch a default judgment in its lawsuit against Fani Willis. Willis also suffered a massive blow to another case she's working on, which she claims was another criminal conspiracy. After 2 years of court battles, the last remaining defendants, Yak Gotti and Shannon Stillwell, were acquitted of those charges. Fulton County is also defying the Georgia State Elections Board's demand for all documents related to the 2020 election. She's having a very bad day. And by all accounts, it's only going to get worse. I would expect possibly to see her fly the coop. All of these things are happening, and the walls are closing in. Not this time on Trump, but on these people. You see, they're being found out. People are seeing what they've done. It took a long time for this to happen. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but it has taken a long time for all of this to happen. In addition, and this is where I'm going to have to... This one is huge. And the Democrat heads are exploding all over X and running wild through every major blue city. Boom! A 3-judge panel from the notoriously progressive Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals out west has unanimously ruled that the federal government has full, complete authority to deport illegal immigrants, newcomers, even if local officials, including mayors and governors, object. So all this talk that all these people have been chirping about how they're going to not listen to anything Trump has to say, we're going to fight back. Guess not. I guess not, because now your only option is to take it to the Supreme Court. SCOTUS, good luck with that. It ain't gonna happen. You're done. At this point, start helping these people pack. They need to understand at this point, the gig is up. You've taken it as far as you can. I guess you got another, 45 days or so to shovel off as much money as you can to them. Do whatever kind of backdoor deals you can do. But it's over. January 20th, as we've said, Daddy's coming home and he's pissed. And he wants you gone. So start stepping. Pack your stuff and get out. Now we'll get to the actual show. A little housekeeping before. I'm sorry. I have one more breaking news. This one's going to piss you off. Joe Biden, after he pardoned Hunter, decided he was going to take off to Africa. He gets to Africa, and he tells Africa, we're going to give you $1 billion to help, the people whose homes have been damaged by flooding and drought. I don't know how those two things can be at the same time, but that's what he said. $1 billion. $1 billion of your money is being shipped to yet another country halfway around the globe. I'm tired of it. I said it yesterday in my monologue. Don't have one prepared today because I'm getting over a cold, but I'm over it. I know you're over it. $1 billion to help them? What did the people in North Carolina get? What kind of lives are they going to have? How are they going to get rebuilt? It's worse than a slap in the face. This is basically taking a baseball bat to the head of people in Appalachia. You voted for this government, not you specifically, but the American people voted for this government. And this government, at this time, is making sure to let you know, with no uncertainty, they don't give a crap about you. Make no mistake at this point. Your current American government that is run by Democrats could care less about the American people. You mean nothing. So everything over there, whatever we can use to basically turn things around and pad our pockets, that's what matters. Not you, not anymore. I know that pisses you off. And the only good news I have is that their days are numbered. Their days are extremely numbered. Remember when I told you that Trump was going to win in a landslide way before anybody else told you? I told you I was looking at the black vote. I was looking at the male vote. I was looking at the Hispanic vote. And I'm like, you can't make this up. The difference was way too high. And I kept saying to people, Barry, how are you figuring this out? I know what I know. I knew that if you lose too much of the black or Hispanic vote, you can't make it up. Now, I'm going to proclaim something else here on December 3rd, 2024. The Democrat Party may not win another election for quite some time on a national basis. I mean national, you mean Senate, up and up, the big races. They're going to still do their thing on a local level because people are stupid. But on a national level, they're done. for years. Barry, how can you say that? Well, I watch the news so you don't have to. I think I'll call it news. And right now, what I'm seeing happening because of this pardon that everybody knew Joe was going to do, but they had to sell it as if they didn't know it was coming. Oh, he would never do this. Oh, he's a stand-up guy. He's the best. It's Joe. He's your grandpa. He's the best guy out there. It's all falling apart quickly. On the left. You see, my thumbnail that I had put up, which is more even appropriate now since Fannie Willis is in trouble, is that's their bench. That's it. There's nobody else. And as you look at that picture, I want you to understand. Judge Merchant in trouble. Alvin Bragg in trouble. Merrick Garland about to be gone. Tim Walz defeated. Jack Smith may go to jail. The other judge, whatever his name was in New York, useless. Mayorkas trying to get a plea deal. Or rather, an immunity deal. Obama, done. Biden, oh, you got trouble ahead. Blinken, lawyer up. Letitia James, lawyer up. Chuck Schumer, useless. Kamala, defeated. What's her name? Fannie Willis, done. Macy jail time. Ilhan Omar, useless. Gavin Newsom, go do something with the people you think you want to protect. What's her name? Gretchen Whitson, the same thing. Pete Buttigieg, irrelevant. Nancy Pelosi, go retire, and Adam Schiff. Did I forget anybody? AOC, oh, that's right, she's going to run for president. They're done. There is nobody coming back. There's no bench. Somebody had emailed Ashley one time and goes, what does Barry mean when he says bench? Athletic term meaning if one man goes down, the next guy coming up behind him to take his place better be aptly suited to do so, better be able to perform at the same level. They got nobody. And now, because they lied, because Joe and Karine Jean-Pierre lied so badly, now the media is starting to see it. And so I've got some things I want to show you today that are basically going to show you how bad and how deep the trouble they're in at this point. I mean, it's huge. It's absolutely monstrous in terms of where these people are and how and the suspects. I call them the usual suspects. The people who are complaining, they're just a kindling at this point. These are the people with big followings, big names, who just aren't sold out. These are people who chirp, 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 and other people listen. So without further ado, let me show you what I'm talking about.
What's your take on the pardon? The Biden situation disgusted me in terms of the pardon only from this standpoint, Chris. Nobody on the planet, you want to be a cynic and you want to act like you would be offended by something like that if you're one of those people out there, fine. But no one within reason would have a problem with him saying, it's my son. I love him. There's no way I'm sending him to jail. And I have the power to avoid it. Nobody would blame him for that. But that's not where he went. So I didn't have a problem to answer your question directly with the decision that he made to pardon his son. Boo-Boo the Fool knew he was going to do that. I don't care who he stood in front of or sat in front of and said that he wasn't going to pardon his son and he was just going to go by the letter of the law. Please, everybody and their grandmother knew he was going to pardon his son. But to come out and to start talking about how it's been a witch hunt and the Department of Justice and others were after him or whoever it was and, the GOP rather was after him. Well, wait a minute. What have y'all been doing with Donald Trump all of these years? Now, you can make an argument about the legitimacy of the cases against Donald Trump compared to what wasn't legitimate, etc. That's not the point. The point is it was clearly politicized. You had folks on the left who were hell-bent on going after Donald Trump because they were determined to make sure that he couldn't run for re-election or that these elements would get in the way of him possibly winning re-election. And now we know why more than ever, because they weren't confident they would ever be able to beat him. He'd been a Republican nominee since 2016. He beat Hillary Clinton Clinton with the Electoral College vote. He wouldn't concede defeat in 2020, but he did receive over 74 million votes at that particular moment in time. And then you fast forward 4 years later, despite the 34 felony convictions, the 2 impeachments, the bevy of crimes that he had been accused of, the Republican voters out there, the conservative voters out there, and a lot of independents from various communities said, he's the guy we want, and I've said it on many, many occasions. It wasn't about him. Just like it wasn't about Biden in 2020, it was more against Trump. In this particular instance, it was an indictment against the Biden administration, what had been going on for the last 4 years, some of the things going on with the border, obviously inflation, of course crime in the streets, of course woke and cancel culture and all of that, it all played a role. And so for him to come out and to talk about that, this was a witch hunt, when clearly it could be argued that's exactly what you were doing to Donald Trump, what you assisted in doing, seems beyond hypocritical. And that was what disgusted me. It wasn't his decision. It wasn't him pardoning his son. It was the weak, pathetic explanation that he gave, which has most critics just shaking their heads and raising their eyebrows and saying, what nerve you have.
Hunter was thinking. Now, before we go too much further, I wanted to let you hear Stephen A. Smith talk. I often call him the clown prince of ESPN, and he's obviously trying to segue from sports into, politics, wants his own talk show. He'll probably get one, big audience. But everything he said there left me with a question. And it's a question I would have for lots of liberals today. You've known since, you should have known for years, this guy was off his rocker. You saw him absolutely break down at the debate. You knew what Hunter Biden has done. You knew what Hunter Biden did years ago. None of this is a secret. You knew it. I knew it. We all know what Hunter Biden has been doing. The videos are everywhere. I told the prosecutor, if I don't you don't fire him, you ain't getting $1 billion. And son of a gun, he got fired. We all saw it. But for some reason today and yesterday, everybody's complaining. The postmortem of the election is when all of this should have come out. You knew it was coming. You knew he was going to pardon Hunter. See, but now you're moving into the triage phase of the media, because now hey, I'm Stephen A. Smith. I'm Chris Cuomo. I'm this person. I'm that person. They got to save their own butts at this point. You see, there's only so many seats in the life raft, and they know Trump's coming. They know what they've done. They know what their colleagues have done. There's no secrets out there. I'm going to show you a later piece that Stephen A. said on his own show, and it's quite revealing. Very revealing what he says. And so right now, what I think is happening, or I could posture, I think a lot of these people know the big hammer of justice is coming for a lot of people. More people than they care to admit right now. But the quick turn, the immediate turn, it's like, wait a second. And by Democrats? Hey, yeah, that was that dude, not me. Wasn't me. I wasn't the one. And it's happening to black people and white people. They're all starting to dodge. Listen to this.
Out because he broke the law. That's number one. He was singled out because he had an illegal gun and tax evasion charges, not because he was the president's son. And I honestly don't care. I just want Democrats to stop acting like they are on this moral high ground politically when they have shown us they're not, whether it's skipping the primary process when Biden stepped down and things like Biden pardoning his son. Stop acting like y'all the pure party and Republicans aren't. And it also shows me elected officials.
When they decided to replace Joe Biden, and I remember this guy, Charlemagne the God, was interviewing Kamala Harris. Did you say anything to her while she was in your studio? When she was cackling, did you say, hey, listen, hey, you guys did this without a primary. You just got installed. This isn't right. Don't talk to me about threat to democracy anymore. But now, Now, Democrats, you shouldn't have the high ground. You guys did this whole threat to democracy thing, and then you didn't do anything. You installed this guy. And then you lied to us over and over and over. And then you had your pollsters lie to you. Ashley's got a great interview set up, I believe, for tomorrow's Wednesday. On Thursday, we're going to have Mark Rasmussen. Not Mark Rasmussen. What's Mark's name? Before I say it's wrong. Rasmussen Reports and Rasmussen Pollster, Mark Mitchell. Mark Mitchell on Thursday is going to be, I'm doing an interview with him. We might do it live, might be recorded. I think these guys here won't have a problem with that. But we're going to talk about pollsters. I'm going to talk and I'm going to dig deep into some of the stuff I saw and some of the stuff that he saw. And why did these pollsters lie to everybody? And how did these people not know what I knew? I'm not a pollster. Oh, they knew. They all knew. They just lied, including these celebrities, including these media people. Every single one of them lied. Now they're caught. Now they're absolutely stuck.
Individuals can do whatever they want as long as they have the political will and courage to do it.
Absolutely. But let me ask you a question. I know at first Hunter was only supposed to get, community service and probation. And then when that was supposed to happen, they pulled it off the table and they said that Republicans forced him to get charged. Is that true? And that's the reason why he was pardoned?
I'm not sure why he was necessarily pardoned.
See, why are you asking each other? You see, this is something you could ask Kamala while she was in your studio. You need to know the answers to these questions. You need to know what questions to even ask. Notice how you're going to see throughout this video, many, I won't say many, but many people will talk about the gun charge and the taxes. They don't talk about what happened in 2014. It's like they don't even know. I think we put too much credit into the media. We put too much substance into celebrities. See, you're asking the wrong flipping questions. Forget the gun charge. Forget the tax charge. Forget Hunter completely. This isn't about Hunter. Everybody who's focusing on Hunter and Joe's lies are focusing on the wrong doggone thing. You're completely missing the story here. Completely. Some of you know, some of you I will tell in just a bit. But I want you to see how this thing is progressing and how so many people are completely ignorant or playing ignorant with what the real story is. There's a reason why this thing goes all the way back to 2014. It's kind of easy if you actually pay attention. So when I'm hearing these people on these shows talk about it, and it's, the gun charge and the taxes, I'm like, why are you even talking about Hunter? You're still falling for the bait. You're still chasing the carrot. It has nothing to do with Hunter. I don't give a crap about Hunter. Hunter can be doing all kinds of blow and everything else and paying for you know what. I don't like the whole thing about the kids. But other than that, I don't care if he slept with his brother's wife. I don't care. He wasn't elected official. It doesn't matter. By listening to people talk about Hunter, you're missing the real story. The real story is much more compelling.
Because at first he was supposed to only get probation, and then they pulled that back and then gave him time, right?
I don't know nothing about that. I thought he was facing 42 years in prison for illegal gun possession and attack charges.
Get my son out. What are you talking about? Yes, he definitely, because he...
You think it was about get my son out? You really think that? Are you really that stupid to not see the picture of, oh, this was about me caring about my son? I'm a great father. I'm such a good father. I don't want my son to go to jail. Why'd you put him in a position to do so? You see, you used him as your bag man. The man had no experience in any of this. And all of a sudden, this guy that you knew had problems was making $80,000 a month. Wow, 80 grand a month. What do you think is going to happen when you give somebody with an addicted profile, someone who's prone to addiction, What do you think's going to happen to them when they've got $80,000 a month and your father's a vice president at that time? And there's no one who's going to stop you. You'll do whatever you want. You'll take pictures of yourself. You'll leave a laptop. I don't care. Cover it up for me. Do whatever you need to do, Dad. Dad. Hunter's the best man I know. Remember he said that? All you guys look stupid in the media. You didn't question that this man said he's the smartest guy I know. Those were the exact words that Joe Biden used to discuss Hunter. And you didn't realize back then it was a cover-up?
Lied on paperwork to get the gun, and he was addicted to drugs at the time.
Yep.
And you're not supposed to be addicted to drugs when you get a gun, so that is how he, quote unquote, illegally obtained the gun. So there was that. But
let's go through the timeline. The dates actually are important. It starts back in January of 14, just before Hunter Biden joined the board of Burisma, this Ukrainian energy company, and Hunter had no expertise in energy whatsoever. His dad was the sitting vice president of the United States, and he's been pardoned through that date, from that date through yesterday, the day of the pardon. Now, why would you have to go back to all that stuff? I mean,
anyone on television want to answer that question? Or you guys just still want to talk about the gun charge and his taxes? Because I don't care about the drug addict. I don't care about the porn addiction. What the hell happened in 2014? Why would you have to make sure that was covered as well? And yet it seems like nobody in the media, of course, Megan knows, but nobody in the media actually wants to talk about it.
we all know why. Because Joe Biden is pardoning himself and not just his son. He wants to make sure that all of those alleged crimes for which his DOJ already gave Hunter a pass remain untouched. The president, after lighting this match, promptly jetted out of town to Africa. I mean, good on him, right? A couple of middle fingers for everyone right before he leaves office. Of course, many, as I said, knew that this promise that he's been making over and over was empty. We've all been saying it, and I don't know. Does it change anybody's view of what's going to happen? And
No, it shouldn't. See, you, as an audience member here watching my videos, I'm trying to tell you right now, ignore this Hunter stuff. Ignore the laptop. Pretend it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean anything. It's small potatoes, like I used to say about the mob. I don't care what he did. Don't care. You should not even be looking at Hunter Biden right now. Especially after he's now been pardoned. Well, actually, there's one reason you can look at Hunter Biden. Let me tell you this right now. Hunter Biden has been pardoned, again, just to make sure people understand this, for all crimes he has committed and we know about, and for all crimes we don't even know about. Who knows what he's done? But if it happened between 2014 and yesterday, you can't even ask him. It's over. Done. No charges. You get out of jail free card. But what happened yesterday that nobody in the left media is even talking about is that at this point, Hunter can be compelled to come in and talk to investigators, FBI, Department of Justice, all this stuff that's about to happen in January. You got to come in. Don't think about ignoring this subpoena. No, because you got a pardon. Yeah, this is different. You need to come in because you no longer have Fifth Amendment rights. That's the only thing you need to focus in on Hunter Biden at this point. He has no Fifth Amendment rights, so he is compelled to testify. So when you get in front of whoever, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, any other, attorney working for the government, and they start digging, and they push aside your tax problem. Except for, hey, how'd you get the money that you couldn't pay the taxes for? That's a good question. Well, how did you get all this money? Because you need to lay the breadcrumbs. Well, I was working for this company named blah, blah, blah. And we had a contract with blah, blah, blah. And China and Ukraine. Oh, did you have any prior experience? And they'll just keep going. You got to answer. You can't get in trouble. You've been pardoned. And those breadcrumbs are going to inevitably lead to some other names that he has to answer. Barry, why does he have to? Because the pardon was up until yesterday. You commit perjury in January, you're not covered, bro. Remember that. I ask you if the sky is blue and you say it's green, you just lied to the FBI. Your pardon was for back then. That was back in December of 2024. It's January 2020. You just lied to the government. Guess what? Buckle up. It could be that simple. So I'm not worried about Hunter, because Hunter understands and his attorneys understand you got to give up the goods. You can't shield anybody else anymore. Otherwise, you're going to get fitted. And you better have some bodyguards, Hunter. Because once people realize you're talking, that they realize your state's evidence, that you're the stool pigeon, it's gonna get kind of hairy for you. Rightfully so. But there's more. And I think you guys are understanding now why did Joe do what he did all the way to 2014? Because obviously whoever wrote the paperwork for Joe had to understand, hey, this could possibly happen. They could bring him in, and as they bring him in, he could start chirping and get other people in trouble. Glenn Beck posted this, which is pretty interesting. Here's what we should all be asking after Hunter's pardon. Why does everything revolve around Ukraine? Is it just a coincidence that the pardon reaches back to 2014 when Hunter's deal with Burisma began? Why did Democrats freak out and impeach Trump after he suggested Zelensky should look into Joe Biden's connections to Ukraine? Why is Biden still trying to throw as much money at Ukraine as possible? Maybe that's why they want this war, to destroy the evidence. In case you're not understanding what Glenn just said, yesterday, they announced they're sending $1 gazillion more over to that country. You think giving $1 billion to Angola was a middle finger? You haven't even seen the big middle finger yet. Let me see if I can pull it up. See if it was yesterday or today. Oh, okay, here it is. It was yesterday. Today, I am announcing the delivery of $725 million in additional weapons and equipment for Ukraine's defense. The United States and more than 50 nations, we stand united, but I don't know what those other 50 nations are kicking in. We're kicking in $725 million. So just so you know, if you're tight with math and not understanding, in 2 days, the Biden administration has given nearly $2 billion to other countries. $1 billion to Angola, which most people couldn't point on a map, and $725 million to the other country over there. With 45, 50 days left in his term. Just handing out cash. Just giving everybody some. Nearly $2 billion. Meanwhile, if you're in North Carolina, you had to apply for $700. And if you're in Hawaii, you probably, that $700 was spent a long, long time ago. Excuse me. So, if you can shuffle the chairs on this Titanic, you're starting to see a picture of what's happening here. They either want someone to blow up Ukraine, or they're paying people off in case Trump starts asking questions. But still, that's not where it ends.
Importantly, I guess the question is, does it change what President Trump is likely to do once he is sworn in again with respect to the J6 defendants? Because that's what the left is really worried about. This is crazy. People are almost ever brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filled out a gun form. As if this is really all just about the gun, right? That is the trial that he had, but there's a reason he was only tried at that trial on the gun form thing. He goes on to say that those who were late paying their taxes because of serious addictions, but then paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties, are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It is clear the Hunter was treated differently. This is so galling.
Galling isn't the word. You know, we can complain now and say this pardoning thing is crazy, because if you didn't pay your taxes, and if you had a child that was strung out on something, government doesn't care. Pay me. Go to jail. And right now, the president can basically give anybody they want a get out of jail free card, including a co-conspirator. And so now what I want you to see is obviously Megyn is middle/right in terms of reporting. Stephen A. Smith obviously tries to be an independent. And then of Chris Cuomo, I'm not really sure anymore what he is. But now let's start digging into the people actually on the left.
First of all, it is true that you can come up with cases of people who did what Hunter was accused of doing, and they weren't charged to the same extent. There are cases like that. But there are also cases that are comparable where people were charged. Joe Biden chose to run, knowing that his son had done these things. Joe Biden lied in the debate about whether Hunter got money from China. Joe Biden lied about whether he went to meetings with Hunter's business associates. Joe Biden lied about his family receiving money. He chose to run knowing his son had an addiction problem and that this would put the spotlight on his past activities that he knew about and lied about whether he knew about them. So
why would he do that? Why would Joe Biden run knowing that, what's his name, not Tucker, Hunter had all these problems? Well, could it possibly be that they thought there's no way they could lose? You see, if Joe knew all this dirty laundry was in the hamper right there for people to see, he probably wouldn't have run. Somebody egged him on and said, no, we got this. It's in the bag. And then I think July 13th happened. And then when July 13th happened, things shifted very quickly. And we saw a hero. And then right after that came the debate. And they saw in their internal polling, oh, we got a problem. Trump keeps saying it's too big to rig. We're not going to be able to rig this. We need to change horses quickly. We're not going to have you as the puppet anymore. We need a new, younger puppet. So the reason why Joe ran was because they didn't think Trump could possibly win. They felt at that point, we got 34 felony convictions. We got this, we got that. We threw the kitchen sink at him. Oh, he's not going to win. He can't keep going. Jack Smith is going to get him. Or Judge Merchan's going to get him. Or Fannie Willis is going to get him. And Trump just, we're still coming. And you and I, we kept coming. See, they didn't count on that. They didn't count that Trump wouldn't be in jail. They expected him to be in jail. Do you remember? Think back a ways. Prior to the debate, when the Secret Service went to Rikers Island and they were checking out the cell that Trump may get, put into. It made big news. It made big news that Trump's, the Secret Service was looking at where they were going to put Trump in Rikers Island. They went that far. Oh, this is the bag. This guy's done. He's done. And then after that, he's going to have to face Jack Smith in Miami because of these missing documents and everything. They had backup after backup after backup. So you had Judge Merchan, and then you had, and that was state level. Then you had Jack Smith, who was federal, and he had 2 cases, one in Miami and one in Washington. And then they had Fannie Willis in Georgia. And they thinking, you know what? Even the worst batter can probably hit 1 out of 4. I mean, 1 out of 4? We gonna get something here, aren't we? And they got nothing. One by one, those cases all fell apart. And Trump just kept coming. They didn't expect that. That's why Joe ran. They didn't expect that he was going to beat them all. Not 1 case, not 2 cases, not 3 cases, all of them. Trump beat them all, and they're falling apart as recently as I showed you at the beginning. Now Fannie Willis has got to go tell everybody, what kind of communication were you having with Jack Smith, and why? Why were you in a state charge in Georgia talking to the special prosecutor? They never expected anybody would put all this together. And if they did, they were expecting, it would run out of time and it would matter. Forget Hunter. Focus on what you see happening around this at this point. Now you see Kamala step in, and Kamala steps in, and she's winning. She's ahead in all the polls. She won the debate. She's got huge crowds, and Oprah and everybody else. They needed that illusion because they still wanted to rig it. And it didn't work. And so now here at the 12th hour, Hunter's staring at a jail cell, and they need to do something.
You want to talk about culpability and responsibility. You want to talk about loving your son. If my son were an addict and had done what Hunter did, and Joe knew he did, I wouldn't run for president. So if he wants to say who's responsible for this, he can blame his own Justice Department. He can blame the independent counsel. He can blame the judges. He can blame Donald Trump. But he's responsible for his surviving son's plight right now by choosing to run for president.
And can I add to that? Jill Biden, who encouraged him to run, the senior staff around him that encouraged him to run for re-election, all knew this. And so for all the Biden family and everyone else to say, woe is us.
Yeah. He said
now, let that sink in. Everything he said there is true. Jill knew. The staff knew. Obama knew. Everybody knew that this bear trap called Hunter Biden was sitting there. Why would all these seemingly smart, experienced people say, go for it? Well, the only reason I can come up with is they never thought Trump could win. Just like in 2016. Trump can't win. Trump can't win now. We made sure of it. We didn't have 1 insurance policy. We had 4 of them.
Debate. My son never got money from China. Okay? He was already a candidate, but he set this in motion. He made it impossible for it not to be investigated because his son did get money from China and he knew it.
But there are 2 fundamental problems with the whole Hunter issue. That the crimes that he has been found guilty of are 2 issues near and dear to Democrats. Correct. Gun control and paying the rich paying their taxes. Correct. Hunter violated both of them, and they've been silent on both of them. Outside of
you get that? Talk about a gun charge and taxes. Fair share. Everyone's got to pay their fair share. Not gonna say nothing about that. And we need to do something about gun control. And you got a guy naked playing with guns and strippers. Yeah, I'm just not gonna say nothing. Nothing. Not a word. They were owned. They were told what to do. Chris Coons, who is Joe's best buddy, a close Biden ally, and this is from a CNN reporter, said senators have been asking why Biden reversed himself and gave Hunter a pardon. See, this is bubbling up all across the Democrat political landscape. I think what changed was that President-elect Trump put people in place who made it really clear that they intended to go after not just anybody, but in their campaign activity had talked about going after Hunter Biden directly. This was a significant change from President Biden's insistence he would not do it, and as I've been turning it over in my mind today, the thing that changed was who Trump nominated. You buying that? Seriously? You know, they've got Secret Service, they got spooks, they got people who can listen and spy and all kinds of things, but they didn't need them. They didn't need them at all. Trump recorded the video. He said everything. I'm coming for you. He recorded the video in 2022 or 2023. There's been no secret that Trump was coming for all of you. Why are you surprised now? Because you didn't think he would win. And now you're caught with your pants down, and you got Chris Coons saying stuff like, oh, it's Trump's fault. It's because of Trump that Biden had to pardon Hunter. Really? There was a significant change from President Biden's insistence, blah, 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 when he found out who Trump nominated. Stuff got real for you, didn't it? It wasn't until that happened that you realized, oh, he won, and now he's got a pit bull as a FBI director, and what are we going to do? Well, if we're going to go ahead and pardon Hunter, that's not going to stop everything now.
Jared Polis, who just had an issue at least with the pardon. Where are the rest of these Democrats coming out and saying, we have fought for gun control, further background checks, and this is wrong? We believe that the rich should pay their fair share in taxes. This is wrong. Like, it's, again, the card is gone. I will make sure that every Republican gets a little card that says, reference Hunter Biden the next time you get asked about this.
And I'm going to tell you, don't. Don't look at Hunter Biden. Ignore Hunter. I'm going to say it over and over until all of you begin chatting about it and realize he's the little fish. You ever go deep sea fishing? My wife is an avid fisher woman. Me, I get sick. I'm sorry. But I have gone out there with her and not gotten sick. And there's different ways you can fish. You can fish by, holding onto your pole and see what comes. You can go trolling and have things, kite fishing and all kinds of stuff. But in any event, the bait are usually about that big. And I'm like, man, that's a big fish. What? Who's going to eat that? A much bigger fish. A much bigger fish. You see, when you put that, whatever you're going to put out there as bait, and it literally is probably about that big. And then you start to think back, what are we doing out here? We're looking to catch gargantuans? Yeah. See, Hunter's one of these fish. Hunter's a fish that you live bait and stick the hook in his mouth and throw him in the water. Because you don't really care about that fish. If a barracuda comes and chops him off, fine. If a shark takes him, fine. You just put another one on and throw it out in the water. What you're looking for is the big fish. You're looking for that marlin. You're looking for that giant couple 100-pound marlin. You guys ever watch, what's it, not Deadliest Catch, the other one, Tuna Catch, whatever they do on those shows. Robin watches them all the time. And they go ahead and they put the poor little fishy, he's still alive, and they stick the hook in his face and throw him out there. And then the giant fish comes along. Because what you want to catch is the big giant fish. That's the one you want. That's the one you're going for. Right now, Trump is going for a huge, huge marlin. He doesn't give a crap about Hunter. Hunter's small potatoes. He's bait. And so all these people on TV talking about Hunter this, Hunter that, I'm like, will you shut up? I mean, you're insulting my intelligence at this point. You're really insulting my intelligence. You've got to be better as an investigative reporter to understand what's really happening here. You're still in the shallow waters bait fishing. Hunter means nothing. The big fish. All of you watching right now, and I hope you understand a fish analogy, and if you want to, go ahead and look it up. But right now, we're fishing for marlin. We want a big old 600-700-pound fish on the hook. And all he was is the bait.
Republicans are really seizing on the time frame here, right? Including the senator-elect from Indiana, Jim Banks, who said Joe Biden issued a pardon to Hunter Biden for any crimes that he might have committed since 2014. Why such a specific year? Well, Hunter Biden just so happened to join the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian energy firm, in that same year, 2014. So corrupt. What do you make of the time frame here?
Well, I mean, my initial impression was this is the president's desire to protect him for the longest period that reflects the president's time of service in the White House. But nevertheless, the effect of that very broad 10-year time frame is, ironically, it will perpetuate the conspiracy theories and the accusations around Hunter Biden. They'll never be resolved.
No, no, they're lying to you. What you're watching right now is the media has regrouped. And they've regrouped and said, okay, what do we do? Okay, it's conspiracy theories, Trump, blah, blah, blah. In other words, they're deflecting from the main story. The main story they don't want you to even hear about. And I'm sitting back and I'm flipping, fast forwarding, rewinding, and I'm like, are none of you talking about the real story here? Seriously, I mean, the real story. But they keep talking about the bait.
Criminally, but it gives his detractors the opportunity to say, oh, well, he must have done something in 2014 to require a pardon going back that far.
I'm curious about a specific portion of the pardon, the text of what the president put out. He writes, quote, the charges in Hunter's cases came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Then a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Department of Justice unraveled in the courtroom, with a number of my political opponents in Congress taking credit for bringing political pressure on the process. Had the plea deal held, it would have been a fair, reasonable resolution of Hunter's cases. Part of the reason it fell apart, though, had to do with the disagreement between Hunter's attorneys and the judge over whether other potential charges against Hunter could be processed in the future, right? So,
yeah, okay, you understand this. This guy dug someplace he wasn't supposed to dig. You weren't supposed to stick your foot in that area. Remember when David Weiss and some of the other guys, when they went through the court, and they had that sweetheart deal for Hunter. Remember that way back a couple months ago? And the judge went, what is this? I understand you're going to, give him a sweetheart deal for taxes. And I understand you're going to give him a sweetheart deal for his gun charges. But how are you tying in complete immunity for everything else? What do you mean? We're going to give it all to him. No, this ain't happening. It wasn't Trump. It wasn't the Republicans. It was the judge who looked at it and went, oh, no. Number 3 here ain't happening. I'm not going to give it to you, boo. You can't have number 3. You can have 1 and 2 because this is the charges that you're working on. But you're asking the court to say all bets off in the past. So what essentially they tried to do, which the media didn't talk about, is they tried to get it slid through earlier. They have always known that they needed to cover up the past. So instead of using a pardon, they figured, here's what we'll do. We'll put this in the agreement, and we'll get both sides to agree, understanding that both sides were the same side. You understand that, right? It was Biden's Department of Justice and Hunter's lawyers coming up with an agreement. So they're both the same side. And they decide to write this up. Yeah, okay, wait. And the judge looks at it and goes, no, this ain't happening. I'm sorry, boo-boo kitty, but you ain't getting number 3. So it's not like this pardon is just something that came up. The media is lying to people once again and not telling you the whole truth. This guy stepped into it. This guy on CNN who's talking right now, he's the one who brings it up. And hold on, I gotta freeze frame this.
How much?
Look at her face. She's looking at him like, shut up. Look at her. If looks could kill, he'd be dead. What are you talking about, bro? Don't even bring this up. I didn't know you were going to bring this up. That's not a look of happiness.
Stock do you put into this rationale?
It's really hard. That's really hard to say. I think that
caught him by surprise too. Big deep breath. Dude, you weren't supposed to bring up the plea agreement from before. You were just supposed to talk about pardon. You just exposed what really was going on.
That it definitely has the impact of generating more of that sort of speculation, right? The range of the pardon, the depth of the pardon, going all the way back to 2014.
Yeah, they didn't like that. They did not expect it. Yeah, it's going to cause people to look. People like me who like, hey, I saw what you just did there. I see what you just did there. So now I want you to hear, I think it's coming up next. I think Stephen A. Smith is coming again. Let's see.
But what did you do to Donald Trump?
Uh-oh.
See, we want to sit up here and everybody was afraid to talk
Oh, I got to fix that. Oh, okay, here it comes.
about it leading up to the election. Or even when we were willing to talk about it, we had to dance the dance. We had to go around, up the block, around the damn corner, come right back around and vaguely get into stuff. We had to point out the 32 felons.
So as he's talking, I want you to ask yourself a question here. As he's going through his litany of things that, quote, we had to say. What are you saying, Stephen? In your angst, you're telling people you were told to say certain stuff? I understand what he just said. I'm going to back that up before his head got too big on the screen. I want you to hear it from the beginning here as he goes through all of these things and he begins telling you what we had to say. We had to say it.
I want to sit up here and everybody was afraid to talk about it leading up to the election. Or even when we were willing to talk about it, we had to dance the dance.
Why? Why did you have to dance the dance instead of just saying what you felt?
We had to go around, up the block, around the damn corner, come right back around and vaguely get into stuff. We had to point out the 34 felony convictions.
Why? What is he saying right here? We had to do this. We had to do the dance. We had to make sure we didn't touch it. Who told you? More importantly, who paid you? Who said you need to do it this way? Why would that be, Stephen? You talk about every player, every sport, however you want. No, maybe they tell you that too. But I just found it interesting that this man who's got so much to say, he's so loquacious, so verbose, is saying things that should make your head turn right now. What do you mean we had to say this? And who the hell is we? How many other people in the media had to say this? I'd love to know.
We had to talk about the 2 impeachments. We had to talk about the abundance of allegations that took place, including an election fall and citing an insurrection and all of this other stuff.
You had to talk about it, huh? Why did you have to talk about it? I understand I'm saying it over again, but I want you to hear what the man's saying.
To talk about all of that. But conveniently, it was coming down the pike like a damn tsunami when you knew you were going to have to run against them. You didn't talk about this then. A matter of fact, you specifically said you wouldn't pardon your son. Before the election. You're announcing it now that we know that Donald Trump is coming in and about to be sworn in as the 47th president. You were intending to do this all along, which again is no problem, but it doesn't make you any less full of it. Because when you look at Donald Trump and how the Democrats went after him, you do understand that the Democrats are no longer in a position to say anything, right? You can talk till the cows come home. You whistling into the wind. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say right now. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your party.
Okay, touchdown. That's what the whole title of this video is about. Nobody wants to hear what the Democrats have to say anymore. Stephen A. Smith is off the reservation, per se, because he's unchained. He's free. See, nobody has to tell him or can tell him what he can say now. Nobody can tell Chris Cuomo. Nobody can tell these people, hey, you can't say that anymore. Why? He's not in power. He's done. We did everything we were supposed to do. We carried your water. We were threatened. We were paid, whatever. And none of it worked. And now we're all pissed off because you made us look like idiots. You made the entirety of the media look like complete boneheads. And they're pissed off. You see, the one thing the media doesn't like, and they'll lie about everything, but the one thing they don't like is being made to look like fools. And the entire Democrat Party, from top to bottom, has made the media the butt of jokes. They have no credibility. Elon Musk is destroying them and saying, we are the media. These people up here who just try and suppress things, they realize at this point it's an avalanche of truth. And so when you see these things happening and people being pissed off, the dude's pissed off. No, make no bones of that. Look at his face. You made me do this. You made me look stupid in front of all these people. Now what am I supposed to do? Well, preserve your documents is what you need to do. Preserve everything, Stephen. If you're on CNN, preserve your documents. Check your emails. You got any emails from Jen Psaki back then? And Caron Jean-Pierre now? You got any phone calls, tapes? Preserve your documents. I'm pretty sure Pam Bondi and some people were like, look, this one, wait. What do you mean you had to say this? Oh, I was just saying it. I was just figure of speech. No, now we need to look. Now we need to see what's going on. You just gave people a reason to look into your stuff, Stephen. Your attorneys will tell you. You went on tape and said, I had to do this. Well, it's just figure of speech. I was just talking. It's just me. I was bloviating. But that's all was needed. Now we need to see if you were just bloviating. Oh, this is going to get good. This is going to be so tasty over the next couple years because there's so many of them. It's going to take so long. Fannie Willis, Letitia James. I don't know if you've seen what happened with Mayor Adams up in New York. He's like, I'm all in. I'm going to work with Tom Homan. We're going to get these people out. Yeah, he said that today. There's only so many seats in the lifeboat. The rest of you, if you want to get on, you better come clean. There's only so many seats. And if you don't, well, I ain't got nothing for you. No steak knives, nothing. Yeah.
Because when you pardon your son, going back on your word, telling the American people there was no way that you were going to pardon him when everybody and their grandmama knew you were lying but didn't hold you accountable for it. And now you've confirmed what people believed, that you were probably going to be lying about that very thing that you said you wouldn't do for your son.
So a couple other things besides what you already said. First of all, go ahead and put up number 107. I think that some of what you said, Sean, will be mitigated by pro-Biden, anti-Trump, dominant media bias. Mm-hmm. Semaphor's framing of the story in their lead item is that Democrats are praising it. That's how they led, okay? And maybe they were going for a quirky lead. But the dimensions of this, the inappropriateness of this, and the degree to which he chose to save his son and handcuff the Democratic Party's ability.
Handcuff the Democrat Party's ability. I don't know if Joe realized what he was doing, if it was getting back because they booted him out the race, but that's exactly what he did. Handcuffed their ability to move forward. The Democrat Party right now cannot move forward. That's why I'm saying what I've been saying about the election. They got to figure out how to fix the rudder on the boat first. This boat's out the water. It's in dry dock. There's nothing they can do. The media's toast. This guy gets inaugurated real soon. hopefully. What are they gonna do? Their ratings are in the toilet. Real people have stopped watching completely. This website didn't even know it exists. Nobody's going there. This is all Beltway stuff. People are fed off. Go ahead and shave your head. Do what you need to do. Complain. Resist. But that's not going to help the Democrat Party.
To some extent, to criticize anything Donald Trump does, including mass pardons of January 6th convicts, is mitigated by the fact that the press is going to cover this, I believe, largely this way. This is, to me, again, biased coverage. That's not.
Mark, look at. I mean,
that's not the lead.
There's a thread going out on that several of us are sharing on social media from Politico. First, President, this is Politico. President says he won't pardon Hunter Biden. Next, Biden issues pardon for Hunter. Next headline, Republicans pounce on Biden. It's like it's our fault that he flipped. These people literally were lied to by the press office. And I'm sitting here as a guy who was who dealt with this for years, branded a serial liar. The guy said this over and over again, Corinne Jean-Pierre went on a lie, and now it's Republicans' fault.
That's all they got. When your guy does something very visible and your only opportunity, only thing you have available is to say it's his fault. No, it's their fault. And it's worse than a scarecrow.
He betrayed them.
I think if he had just said, it breaks my heart to see my son go to jail and I don't want to spend the rest of my life seeing my son in prison, fine. Then it's like, you know what? Oh, okay. Like as a parent, I get it. Sean, you said, I think we would all do whatever we can to spare our children pain and suffering. But to rail against your own Justice Department after you railed against Donald Trump, for what he does, that to me is the difference between, kind of the politics of this going forward and the lack of leadership that he's showing in terms of how he's handing, off the baton to the rest of the party. To me, it's just almost a disgrace.
So the funny thing is, and I don't want to get ahead of our own agenda here, but if I were Biden and his team, at least find an excuse. Right. This is where the tone deafness comes in on this, which is why not say, I'm concerned that Donald Trump's going to go after my son and the rhetoric hasn't toned down since then. And therefore, I'm going to save him. But blame somebody else, for goodness sakes. This is politics 101. I can't believe it.
Yeah. And I see people are saying like the only reason he went after him is he's Joe Biden's son. Guess what? When you're president or running for president, people come like that is. Ask the Clintons about all the stuff that they went through, right? Ronald Reagan and his family went through. The Bushes went through. Like, tell me a president or a candidate who has run, they go through your family, they go through your friends, they go through everyone. It doesn't mean you just all of a sudden say, I'm going to pardon everyone because the Justice Department is totally corrupt. I think the Democratic Party is better than that, and that's what's very disappointing.
You can be disappointed all you want. If you're disappointed now, you're about to be really disappointed if you're a Democrat. Because as I've been saying in this video, this has nothing to do with Hunter. Forget it. Forget it. He's bait fish, as I analogized earlier. You see, here's the problem. And let me just break it down for you. I started earlier. Hunter has a get-out-of-jail-free card to a certain extent because it ends yesterday. So nothing he does moving forward can he use the get-out-of-jail-free card. Meaning, when he gets called in to testify and they start asking questions, he has to be absolutely truthful. Otherwise, he will perjure himself and go to jail. It'll be easy. So what they're going to ask him, and this is where you start seeing what this all means. He's got the fifth. There's nothing, he can't take the fifth. There's nothing they can ask him that he can't say, and he's got to give an answer. Make sure you understand that. Hunter, who got you this job? He can dance around it, but he can't lie. He's got to tell the truth. The truth, in this instance, may set him free, But the truth is going to incriminate other people. The truth is my dad, my uncle, my mom, maybe Obama, maybe Clinton's, maybe this person, maybe that person. Because now he has to tell everything he knows. As long as people ask the right questions, which I'm sure Pam Bondi and whoever are going to come in. So what you're going to see, I almost guarantee you, I said it yesterday, you're going to see, what's his name, James Biden get a pardon. Probably going to see Barack Obama get a pardon. Probably going to see Hillary Clinton get a pardon. Probably going to see Mitch McConnell. Oh yeah, Republicans too get a pardon. There's going to be a whole lot of people, including himself, that Joe Biden has to pardon. Now this is where it gets really, really, really interesting. I mean, put on a bib type of interesting. You see, what happens, just saying, what happens if Joe says, I'm going to pardon James, my brother. I'm going to pardon James's wife. I'm going to pardon Jill. I'm going to pardon my Ashley Biden. I'm going to pardon, and then I'm done. Bye. Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What do you mean you're not pardoning me? Sorry. I mean, I don't know if that will happen, but are people starting to realize if this guy did this to the Democrat Party like that, by pardoning Hunter, what makes everyone think he's going to let all these other people who screwed him off the hook? The guy's 82 years old. He's half demented. There's not much more you're going to do to him, especially when he pardons himself. So he can walk in there, and I'm sure people will object to it, but let's say he pardons his family and himself, and he leaves all these people hung out to dry. Y'all want to see some fireworks? You want to see some people, because everyone's like, oh, he's going to pardon everybody. He's going to pardon like 1,000 people. This man and his wife are pissed off. Remember that. Remember July 28th, 29th, 30th, when Obama pulled him off the stage, and then they said, listen, you're not running. I don't know, I'm still running. Oh, no, you're not running. You're done. Oh, okay. And we don't know what the climate is on the left. We don't know if he's good with Obama and Hillary. We've seen some things, but we don't know. We saw Obama go out and try to support Kamala, but remember, they were pissed off that he endorsed Kamala. That was the first slit. I'm going to endorse Kamala so you can't put anybody else in. Then I'm going to pardon my son. Oh! And now I'm going to pardon the rest of my family, and I'm not pardoning you guys. I mean, everyone's expecting there to be thousands of pardons. And I'm sitting back here going, anyone else watching this? And going, what if he doesn't pardon anybody else? What if he says, yeah, that's it, y'all deal with it? I thought about that last night. I was eating dinner, and I thought to myself, in my soup, because I'm still sick, soup. And I went, wait a minute, what if everyone has this wrong? What if Joe Biden is so pissed off, and then maybe not even him, what if Jill Biden is so pissed off? Remember, she disappeared. She didn't even look at Kamala. You remember that in the veranda? Didn't even look at her. And you're expecting this woman who basically has his ear and probably has the same penmanship, if you know what I mean. You think this woman is going to just do a favor for Obama and Kamala and everybody else? What would be the biggest, I don't want to say the word, bend over and take it opportunity she could give these people? Is to say, none of you getting pardoned. Good luck. We're out. We're off to Rehoboth. We're pardoned. We got our. You better hope. You better hope Hunter don't start naming some names. Because hey, my dad, he did this and he did that. Okay. Your dad was vice president then, yes. And your dad told you this? Yeah. Remember, my dad's got a pardon. Okay. Well, did anyone else know what your dad was doing? Boom. That question right there destroys the entire Democrat Party. Who else besides the people covered by pardon knew what was going on? Did you have any meetings with them? Did you exchange any documents with them? You see, that's where the big fat Marlins are. Whatever Hunter has to say about that. Get ready.
Do you buy? I mean, Joe Biden is basically saying, look, he would never have been prosecuted if he wasn't my son, and that this is political as well. Do you buy that?
There's no question. A lot of Justice Department prosecutions are a result of the fact that the DOJ decides they can get press out of them. They are sensitive to media pressure. They're sensitive to political pressure. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are now saying the same thing. And I think that makes the case for why the DOJ has to be cleaned up. New ethos of operation has to happen there. But I think one thing about this pardon that's striking to me is that it's not for the gun and the tax charge. This is for everything he did in the last 11 years. Coincidentally, that's when he went on the board of Burisma, the Ukrainian gas company.
As he's saying this, nobody else is even going there. Dude, shut up. No. This is what is going on.
I think that there's going to be a lot more investigation into what Hunter Biden's dealings were with Burisma, and now that he's been pardoned, he doesn't need the Fifth Amendment. He can tell us everything. He can tell us everything about his co-conspirators. He can tell us everything about other people who did business with him. A lot more is now on the table.
And the other people on the panel had nothing to say. See, like Stephen A. said, they weren't told what to say there. So it's not about Hunter? No, it ain't about Hunter. It's never been about Hunter. Don't let anyone shake you from that right now. Don't even think about Hunter Biden anymore. It doesn't matter. It's what is Hunter Biden going to say when he starts getting investigated. You have no Fifth Amendment. You cannot incriminate yourself. You got a get out of jail free card. Everybody watching this video right now needs to understand that he is free to talk about anything from 2014. He could have basically committed the worst possible crime. He actually could have taken somebody out. Just so you understand that. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. So he's free to say anything he wants. Actually, he's compelled to say everything. Just let that sink in. And I've reiterated it a few times because I really want you to understand moving forward from today. If you see any videos talking about Hunter Biden, it's all a distraction. They're trying to deflect you away from looking at the big marlin out there. A couple big marlins swimming in that water. Merrick Garland may be one. We don't know who's pissed Joe off. How long is that list of people that have pissed off Joe Biden? He's going to pardon himself. He's going to pardon Jill. He's going to pardon everyone in his family. I don't know who else gets to get out of jail free card.
James Comer, do you believe other Biden family members committed crimes? And do you believe that a new attorney general, if they are upholding the law, it would be within their jurisdiction to go forward with indictments? And what about Joe Biden himself?
I believe two other Biden family members definitely and knowingly committed crimes. In addition to Hunter Biden, you have Jim Biden and Joe Biden. Joe Biden obstructed my and Chairman Jordan's investigations. He lied multiple times. He lied about his knowledge and involvement. We had sworn testimony from Bob Alinsky and Devin Archer that said that Joe Biden knew all along what was going on. He was selling the brand, his brand. He was selling access to our enemies around the world, and he lied just like Jim Jordan said in the debate about the laptop, and he lied when he said he wasn't going to pardon his son. So, yes, Joe Biden, in my opinion, has committed crimes. Jim Biden, we saw he took in all these loans. He didn't pay any interest, didn't pay any principal, had no loan documentation. At what point do those loans become income? They never paid taxes on. And by the way, why did he get those loans? What was he doing? All the people that wired money to the Bidens were shady characters, either adversaries or people that were in trouble, needing assistance, needing a prosecutor fired, needing a pardon. They were needing something from Joe Biden, the big guy.
But even that doesn't cover everything. I want you to think about 350,000, 400,000 kids. I want you to think about everything that's come through the southern border. Somebody had to give the order to look the other way as that all happened. Now, put that on, put that log on the fire right there. Where did that order come from, and who said that needed to happen? How do I know this is a big deal? If you remember a couple weeks ago, I told you that Mayorkas was seeking immunity. And it didn't make sense. Let me see if I can even find that. It didn't make any sense. Why was Mayorkas seeking immunity? Who was he talking to? And why would... Here it is right here. Yeah, okay. On November 22nd, reportedly, Mayorkas is now trying to negotiate a deal to step down in return for immunity from prosecution when Trump takes office. Interesting. Why would Mayorkas be looking for immunity? I said that when I made the video. What does he know? Because in order to get immunity, you're giving something up. You're like, hey, listen, I got some information I need to give you. I need off. You see, this is getting to be a very, very, very tangled web here. And the more you focus on Hunter, you're not seeing the big picture. Where'd these 350,000 kids go? Who gave the order? So tonight's video at 7:30, which luckily I don't have to talk as much because on 7:30 at Rumble, I'm going to be releasing the Border Patrol agent video interview. And it ties greatly into this stuff here. Because somebody up there gave the order all the way down, because it was indeed an order to let all this stuff happen, including the kids. And when you hear what they've done to these kids, you are going to be shocked. So if Mayorkas is looking for immunity, who's he asking immunity from? Is he talking to Trump? Because at this point, the people in the inner circle in Washington would know if he went to Merrick Garland, and you only got a month or so before Trump takes office. See, there's a lot of people right now looking for get-out-of-jail-free cards. Is he going to be pardoned? What's he going to get pardoned for? See, Hunter had two charges. He had a gun charge and a tax charge. Mr. Mayorkas, what in the hell are you getting immunity on? What did you do? Who told you to do it? Was there money involved? Once you step back and look at this whole thing, you almost have to put like an FBI chart together and go, okay, well, here's the head, or who we think is the head, meaning Joe, because there may be people above him. And then Hunter's way down here. Hunter was the guy who went and picked up the bag. They didn't ask him to negotiate anything. Go pick up the bag, bring it back. Do this, bring this over there. So you basically have the low-level dealer at this point with a pardon. Which means now all the people upstream, it's going to get juicy. Absolutely.
I think what is just impossible for Democrats to defend is that this is not just about a father looking after his son and wanting him not to go to jail when this sentencing was supposed to happen in a couple of weeks. This is Joe Biden retrospectively going back 11 years to ensure that he himself is not ensnared in any investigation into his family's influence peddling around the world.
That's where it's headed.
Earning millions of dollars when he was vice president. This is
look at this guy. You think this guy he's Fredo? I mean, basically, Hunter Biden is Fredo. He's not even a consigliere. He's way down the food chain. He's Fredo. We're going to send Fredo to go pick this up. Go send Fredo to pick that up. I'm smart. Shut up and play with your hookers. This guy was not a mastermind. He's way down the chart. He wasn't even a capo regime. He was way down here. Look, just look at that guy. There's not a criminal enterprise in the world that would entrust this man to do anything. He was a low-level guy and was getting paid accordingly. He better have some serious security. That's all I'm saying.
Biden protecting himself.
And maybe his brother, Miranda.
Well, of course. I mean, I'm sure that will be the next pardon. And why wouldn't Joe Biden just go willy-nilly and pardon everyone in his family, anyone he can think of, because he's already, he'll take whatever political hit he needs to for this 11-year pardon for Hunter for any crime that he might have committed. And that includes, of course, the Ukraine grift back in 2014.
So sorry, Dana. Your theory then is that he's got to put an umbrella of protection around specific family members, maybe more than two, in order to prevent Congress from going after what they believe was wrongdoing.
Yep, it's coming. Be absolutely certain as you're sitting here on December 3rd or whenever you're watching on replay, that's coming. There's no doubt that's coming. The only doubt we have is how many of these pieces of paper is he going to dole out? Because he's going to be very busy in the next 30 days.
As they have chased for 4 years.
Yes, obviously Hunter is the most involved in all the China and Ukraine and Romania, etc. But Jim Biden, Joe Biden's younger brother, Hunter's uncle, was also involved in some of the China deals with Hunter. And then there are other family members who received money. And I think James Comer in the Oversight Committee did a pretty good job of following the money trail and seeing where it led from those sort of shady oligarchs and Chinese CCP members through to various cutouts and then eventually to the bank accounts of several Biden family members, including Joe Biden himself.
Including Joe Biden himself. If they want to blame somebody for all this, they're blaming Trump and everything. You know who's really to blame? You. You are to blame. I am to blame. This man was never supposed to win. They had every contingency in place. Understand that. This was not supposed to stop. This was going to continue into the new campaign. And then, Joe self-destructed on July 27th, and Kamala cackled their way into a huge loss, and they weren't ready for it. That's the only reason why this is happening. You made it happen. You have called the Democrats bluff. And right now, they don't know what to do. The media doesn't know what to do. I don't even know who's calling the shots. We don't even know who's president right now. Somebody goes, I wonder if Biden will get eaten by cannibals in Africa. Oh, that's too funny. I voted Trump the last 2 times. Yeah, you guys did it. Yep, we did put up with this. I want you to understand it. You guys did it. You did what he asked for. Make it too big to rig. And because you made it too big to rig, all of this is now surfacing. And people are opening up the curtains and going, oh my God. And so now on the other side of the coin, you got people, so he's Fredo. You got people on the backside going, all right, now we got to have a different plan here. Who's getting the seat in the lifeboat? And the only person controlling who gets in that lifeboat is Joe and possibly Jill. That's it. The entirety of the United States government, the entirety of the deep state, all of it is down to, did you piss me off? I love it. Did you piss me off? Because I'm the only way you can get saved at this point. That's it. Oh, that's so funny. Doesn't it feel effing good? It feels real good. And I'm telling you, watch what happens. Crazy stuff. You saw what happened in South Korea. Crazy. Where is Obama in all this? I don't know. It's crazy. Sotero must be begging Joe to help him. Yeah. Caller ID. Who is it? Barack. I don't think so. Oh. I wouldn't be, no, not even going to go there. Not even going to go what I was going to say. Enjoy this win. It's well earned. You did it. You all did it. Fredo needs to go to the nut house. They better find some doors to float on. and a whistle. Because it's about to get really bad. Oh, Deborah, you're so right. It's like the show Survivor. Well, at this point, think about that. Who's getting voted off the island? Who's got the immunity necklace? Because actually, there's only one immunity necklace. I'm just thinking to myself, thousands of FBI agents, thousands of CIA people around the world, all these people in all these different positions who might have had their hand in some of this. And Trump's coming in on January 20th with somebody like Kash Patel. And the only person who can save you at this point is a guy that you took advantage of. Just let that dwell for a little bit. This is like a rotten whale exploding. And you know, the boat is sinking. It's sinking real hard. Somebody says, Joe says, I'll never let go of the proceeds. No, I'll never let go. What did that say? Okay, here's a question. The question says, can Hunter be threatened with a civil lawsuit for whatever? Can Hunter still be threatened with investigation from 2009 to 2013? Okay, but you're focusing on the wrong thing. Stop looking at Hunter. The Hunter is small potatoes. You're fixated on the wrong guy. Who cares at this point? He's a drug addict. He's a reformed drug addict. Whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is the ability right now we have to see this entire Democrat Party taken down. Think about that. The entire structure. Everything they've put together for decades. Trump's about to go in and play Jenga with the Democrat Party. You remember the game Jenga with all the things here, and you pull this one out, and you pull that one out, and it goes badoop. Hunter isn't even one of the keystones. He's just one of the pieces. The big foundational ones are the ones we care about. Don't ask yourself, forget me, but don't ask yourself any more questions about Hunter. Who cares? We need to figure out, well, not us, but Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, whoever, start digging into the big fish. You see, you've just spent an hour and a half with me so far, and your question here was about Hunter. No, that's not it. Who cares about Hunter? I put it all on Obama to pay the price for what's been done to the American people for his little shadow presidency of these last years. No pardon for him or Michael. They need to pay the ultimate price. Yeah, Hunter was merely a bagman. He was a messenger. He was just a little crackhead running around. He wasn't making any decisions. He was getting paid handsomely, and they paid him in drugs and hookers and stuff. And you could tell the lifestyle he led. This guy wasn't making any decisions. Joe was vice president when he started. Yep. So someone had to know. Yeah, exactly. Barry, I see it now. Okay, yeah. Look, just think of the Jenga game. Just think of that game. And you're starting to pull things out, and all of a sudden, and he's just one piece. So what you're going to see, no doubt, over the next 30 days, 40 days, are pardons being issued. I don't know why he just didn't start now, but next one will be his brother. Next one will be his wife. Next one will be his sister, and the whole family. The whole family is going to be under the pardon umbrella. And then they may want to go into WITSEC. They may want to take them and say, you know what, maybe we should just go away for a while. Where did you want to go to? Remember the movie Red October? I'd like to go to Montana. Oh, it's going to get bad. All right, let's go to the 10 small stories.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
I followed the Hunter Biden trial very closely.
Mm-hmm.
I read every transcript, all the testimony, because that's what all that was made public. And there is, you want to read, you want to get angry, just as somebody in just all these mixed emotions. You read the Hallie Biden transcript, and that's Bo's widow.
Yes.
Chuck, you've been on Meet the Press for years. Now you're bitching. Now you're complaining about the Hallie Biden stuff.
And essentially, he turned her into a crack addict. And this was all happening in 2017, 2018. And Joe Biden were so concerned about their family that they decided to run for president.
Yep.
So when you talk about the word selfish.
So in case you were wondering, Chuck Todd, obviously Lib Nut, and Chris Cizilla, formerly of CNN, you're starting to see now how things are starting to shape up for the liberal media.
It's almost like the word doesn't, their decision to run for president put the entire Democratic Party and the United States of America in the position that it's in now.
Number.
What? The entire Democrat Party. That's what I've been telling you. The Democrat Party is right now, they've hit the iceberg. That iceberg has ripped a big old gash in the Democrat Party. And I'll say it again, there's only so many seats in the lifeboat. Oh, yeah, it's great.
9.
A couple things. One is Joe Biden, his party abandoned him, right? So basically everyone has abandoned Joe Biden, here in Washington. And you got to wonder if he's looking around saying, you know what? What's good for Donald Trump now is going to be good for me. And in the end, the people who really rallied around and stuck with Joe Biden was his family. Remember, we were the ones saying it was his family, the ones that were really making the political decisions about what he was going to do. I do think this, two things can be correct. First of all, the norms are gone, right? We absolutely know that. But at the same time, air cover has been given to Republicans because Joe Biden has decided to do this part.
So Joe Biden is in the same thing as Trump right now. He jumped into the lifeboat with his family and they rode away real quick from the wreck. Just row, everybody row. Oh. And now people on CNN and MSNBC are seeing it. Hey, where's Joe and Jill and oh, they're over there in the lifeboat rowing it. Oh, they got a motor attached to it. They're just going. You people are screwed. Absolutely screwed.
Number 8.
This president in particular has been very stingy about pardons. He's only granted 25 other pardons when other presidents have granted substantially more. So the idea of singling out his son, I think, just sends a terrible message about who gets preferential treatment in this country.
Number 7.
And one of the things that confused me, Anderson, was just as a tactical matter, wouldn't it have been better to pardon a whole bunch of people who deserve pardons as part of a pardon the gestures to throw this out here alone and hop on a plane to Africa on a Sunday night? It was just handled poorly on top of everything else.
Number 6.
Okay, hold on a second. Notice what he said there. Why didn't you just go ahead and issue a whole bunch of pardons? Why did you just issue that one and then fly off to Africa? You left the rest of us hanging.
Do I understand Joe Biden's pardon? Yes, completely. I get it. It's completely understandable. But the both sides folks out there have just gotten some really powerful ammunition, and for that reason, I hate it.
Number 5.
A lie
NBC
because
News said it.
Honestly,
NBC News.
What the other side has been saying for years, what you guys ran on for president was multiple lies. I mean, if Eric Holder said it right, I think he said if Hunter's name was Joe Smith, this case would probably have never even gone to trial. Right?
Again, she's focused on Hunter. Scott, Jennings, who's on this panel, understands that's not the real fish here. Let them keep talking about Hunter.
Right? That it was always a political
Whose
witch
Justice
hunt,
Department brought the
and it
case?
was always.
But Lee, wasn't to Scott's point? I mean, wasn't it a lie? I mean, you can defend it, but wasn't it a lie that he was not going to pardon him?
No, I believe the circumstances have changed. I think that we now have a president coming into office who's talking about fire.
So now you can't even define a lie. We understand you couldn't define a man and a woman. Now you can't define a lie. It's amazing what these people are doing right now.
Ring squads, who's talking about running people around the country and making sure that everyone who's his enemy is going to be punished. And Hunter Biden lied about his drug use on a government form when he was buying a gun. And he failed to file and pay taxes when he was a drug addict. He paid back those taxes with interest. Donald Trump himself was indicted for 17 counts of criminal tax fraud, more than Hunter, and he's going to be the president of the United
11
States.
years.
So
You're missing a few things here.
11 years.
Number 4.
President Biden lying about this, of course, makes others in his administration and allies either credulous or complicit.
Yes, it does. You could have stopped right there. It makes other people complicit. The news is starting to turn. I'm telling you, they got to start covering their own butt at this point.
Including White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who's been saying this for months to the American people.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No. I just said no. I just answered.
I could speak for the president, and he said he would not pardon his son.
Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
The answer does not stand. There was.
Number 3.
I'll say this. Hunter, your dad has given you a great, great gift.
When she starts talking about Hunter, again, deflection, she's talking about him like he's a 16-year-old kid, like a college kid, a frat boy. Frat boy who just got caught doing lines in the frat house. You forget this man's 54 years old, but that's what they want you to believe.
The gift of freedom and taking this weight off your shoulders.
Yeah.
I hope now Hunter gives his dad a gift. The gift of being a good son, a good father, a good grandfather, a good human being, leading a productive life. Can I finish? Mm-hmm. And staying clean for the rest of his life. So I hope that this goes both ways.
So now all of a sudden he's going to turn into a choir boy. You expect this guy who's been doing all kinds of untoward stuff to just now all of a sudden wake up and go, you know what? I'm going to start going to church every single day. And I'm never going to do any more of that stuff. Which is going to be interesting because he now has to stop cold turkey if he hasn't already. If he hasn't already, he will now have to stop cold turkey. Because doing blow is against the law. Buying blow is against the law. It's not covered by the pardon what happens today moving forward. So even if he goes someplace and buys some women, you can't do that either in certain areas. So we're talking about an entire change of his behavioral patterns. There is nothing you can do against the law moving forward because people are going to watch you. And at least for the next 4 years, they're going to be watching you like that. They're going to be watching you. Unless, of course, you do what you're supposed to do when they call you to the stand. Then they'll probably give you some more perks. But what you're seeing here with these ladies of the View is, again, they're short-lived. They won't be here long. Why? Because they keep keep having to fess up for lying.
Or 2.
I see you. I see you over there.
I have a very quick statement.
It's not going to be that quick.
Pete Hegseth has denied any wrongdoing. His lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. No charges were ever brought.
You rushed me for that? We'll be right.
They don't have much longer. I hope, Whoopi, they all saved your money. That show is done. Absolutely done.
Number 1.
And tonight we're getting some new details about that Trump-Trudeau dinner from 2 people who were at the table. We are told that when Trudeau told President-elect Trump that new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy, Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive without ripping off the U.S. to the tune of $100 billion a year, then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor.
I had to include that. That's classic Trump. The fact that got leaked out and he said that, you better get used to it or else. That's the classic Trump. So a bunch of guys were asking about the entire pardon thing. The pardon thing with Hunter covers any and all crimes, whether convicted or otherwise, from 2014 till today. Somebody asked earlier, is treason covered? At this point, in order to pierce that veil, people would have to take him back to court and try whatever they need to do if they wanted to go after him for treason. But the fact that you asked that question is kind of reason why I'm answering it is, I know it's hard. I know it bothers so many people. So I'm getting through this. But try not to focus on Hunter. Try to ignore everything that's happened with Hunter. At this point, Hunter has to be on our side. You need Hunter. See, that in closing, that's the one thing I want to let you know. You need Hunter at this point. We, as Americans, we need Hunter able to talk. And we need Joe to basically decide who's going to get the umbrella, the parachute. Because everybody else who doesn't have that umbrella, those people are going to be in trouble. Don't worry about what Hunter did. It doesn't matter. He may have done everything. He may have sold secrets. Who cares? Stop looking at the bait fish. Start focusing on the big marlin. We need, in order to, as Trump said, in order for us to obliterate the deep state, we need Hunter. We're going to need Joe and Jill and let them have the ability to talk. That's where this thing is going. I don't know who and how many people are going to get pardons and immunities and all kinds of stuff, but everyone who does, you need them to have that in order to get to the bigger fish. And I keep using the analogy about the Titanic because it's so real. The Democrat Party was sailing along, doing well, and they hit an iceberg. It ripped a gash, and this thing is in the ocean right now, in the cold, frigid Atlantic. And there's only so many lifeboats that are going to save some of the people. There's only so many. If Hunter gets in that lifeboat, which he now has he's got his life jacket and he's got a blanket, he's in the lifeboat. Everybody else up on that deck right now, or those 3 decks, those people don't have lifeboat. They don't have tickets to get in the lifeboat. They have no seats. Every one of those people, that's my dog, every one of those people now are potential witnesses. That's who you want to be looking at. Not the guy already in the lifeboat, because he's going to save his butt, because there's no way Hunter Biden wants to do time. There's no way that 82-year-old Joe Biden wants to do time. There's no way Jill Biden wants to do time. They are completely in control of their own destiny at this point. And so that's what you need to focus on, and like, who's left up there who's not going to have a seat. I've tried to make the best, easiest analogy for you to think about, but forget Hunter. As I said, he's sitting in the lifeboat next to the fire, got his blanket on, he's in there. What you're going to need to focus on moving forward are who the next people to get in the lifeboat, and then when the lifeboats are all full, who's left. Because it would almost be okay with me if most of them got pardons. I'm like, Barry, why would that? Because the more who get pardons, the infrastructure, that Jenga of the Democrat Party, falls. It completely falls. There are so many, I mean, we may need Gitmo. There are so many people who are not ready to go to jail. They're chirp, chirpity, chirp, chirp, chirp. Everybody's going to be cutting deals. And you better have something worthwhile for us to talk about. Didn't the pardon include 24? Nope, I believe it was to, I have it. I don't think I deleted it. I can bring it up here. Excuse me. Yeah, I have the pardon. So we can look at this real quick before we go, just so that everybody can see it. But there's the pardon. And the pardon says, from January 1, 2014 to December 1, 2024. Can you see that? I'm bent in so I can make sure I can see it. Let me move the comment. So yesterday, the pardon expired. That's it. Yesterday. That's it. Everything from today on, it's fair game. So that story is pretty much over, especially when you see the words at the very top, full and unconditional. That means he's in the lifeboat. So take your eyes off of Hunter. Don't worry about anything to do with him. You're wasting your time. I know it sucks. You know, he should go. Doesn't matter. Why worry about something you no longer need to focus on? Now we need to see who else is going to get tickets. Who else gets a seat? These people won't let my comments through. Yeah, I just saw your comment. Today is the 3rd, Barry. It expired the day before yesterday. Yep, on the 1st. Absolutely. Sooner or later, divine justice is coming. Yep, once Trump gets in office, that's for sure. I think perhaps they discussed this with Trump at the White House. Possibly. Very possibly. Is POTUS Donald Trump really Elvis Presley? I saw that today. What else you guys got up here? Is he in Africa with Daddy? I don't know where he is right now, but he better have some security around him, that's for sure. Hunter may need to go hide. A criminal can't pardon another criminal. Who told you that? If Joe Biden is a criminal, unless you want to go down that rabbit hole, some of you guys may need to go watch old mafia movies. Let me just break it down for you. I don't care, nor does Trump care about an 82-year-old former president. That's not the prize here. I'm doing a shake. I'm shaking you right now. Wake up. His goal isn't to break Joe Biden. His goal isn't to break Hunter. Repeat after me. As he has said, my goal is to obliterate the deep state. These are merely... Do you really think Joe Biden's been in charge all this time? Of course not. You're focusing too small. I'm begging you to understand this board here. Imagine a cartel, a criminal enterprise. This guy here, who can't even eat his Mapo without somebody putting it in his face or changing his diaper, is not is not the keystone here. It's somebody up there. And until you can grasp that, this is not going to make sense to you. You're still going to question, hey, well, did he steal the election in 2020? Did he do this? It doesn't matter. At this point, the goal is to break this entire thing up. We can't go back and do 2020. It's done. But what we can do is make sure it never happens again. We need to basically take a wrecking ball to their entire infrastructure. Break it down to dust. Your goal at this point should be, if you want to, is look up information and talk to each other and try to get as much of a focus on taking these people down as a group, not as an individual. Trump didn't say, my goal is to come in and take out Joe Biden. Nope. He stated it, to obliterate the deep state. Period. You got to grasp that. Is it getting closer to the truth? Yeah, change the future. Trump coming in like a wrecking ball. Deep state is above the president. Yes, there you go. Exactly. We're talking huge. Think of a family tree. Exactly. Getting close. There you go. Trump coming in. Deep state is above presidents. You guys are starting. Some of you are starting to figure it out here. Okay, Barry. Who or what controls the deep state? It has to land on something. Yes. Yes. You're exactly right. It's someone, and we don't know who they are yet. This has been something that's happened for quite a long time, 50, 60, 70 years. It may go back to other countries. It may go to England. I don't think you're understanding how deep this rabbit hole is. This wasn't set up by somebody who ran for president out of Delaware. No. This is an intricate web of all kinds of people doing all kinds of nefarious things, running all kinds of crazy wars. This isn't one guy. Like I said before, people got pissed at me. I'm like, I don't know if y'all ready for this. I don't know if you are ready for it. Until you start looking back and going, oh, this is pretty big. Yeah. You're on the ground floor right now. You're on the ground floor and you're pushing the elevator button, and first floor was Hunter. He was in the mezzanine. He wasn't even on the first floor. He's the mezzanine. Joe's on the first floor with Jill. Who's on the 50th floor? These are people who have operated in the shadows for a long, long, long time and have been replaced by other people in the shadows for a long, long time. These are people you and I have never seen. Understand that. These are people who make mountains move. These are people who sit on large, unfathomable size of money. These are people who have basically toppled countries. These are people who have taken out some of our historic leaders. Until you wrap that around your head and go, oh, so wait a second. So in 1963, this guy was president. He wanted to do the same thing Trump did. And then he got taken out. And then the guy who supposedly took him out got taken out while he was in the police station. Really? Seriously? And in 1968, it happened twice. And who knows how many other times. We're not talking about a president. When planes flew into some buildings, you think those 10 or 11 guys were responsible for it? Come on, man. Wake up. This is the kind of stuff that people disappear for. Be ready for it. We may never know the names. Trump may never get that deep. But right now we can obliterate what we can. the hunters become the hunted. They know they're in trouble. Yeah, exactly. And that's scary. Let's see, take their money. Deep state is big corpse, big farm. Okay, look at people like that. Big kind of money. JFK tried to tell us about the societies. Listen to his speech. Yeah. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I believe when you start looking at these companies that own this kind of stuff, I think you're getting there. You're definitely getting there. There's a reason. Think about it this way, too. There's a reason why our presidents are only there for 4 years or 8. That's it. Our presidents are only there for 4 years or 8 years. Why is that? Well, that's what our Constitution said. All right, so you read that Constitution, and you realize that people are only there for 4 or 8 years. What about all the other people in that lifeboat? How long are they there? They're there their entire lives. They're there for, if they choose to, 20, 30 years or more. And we never know their names. You pay for them. I can't even, what's this woman's name? I can't even, most people don't even talk about her. But they call her like the angel of death. Let me just see this. Okay. So this woman here, let me bring this up. Hope I'm not getting too deep here. If you guys ever hear of this woman, Victoria Nuland, she's the 24th Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs. Let's see, she was in office from 21 to 22, but you have to go back here and start looking at some of her history and where she came from. She's acting Deputy Secretary of State following retirement of Wendy Sherman, and she works for all these groups and Yale University. Okay, here's her career. She joined the State Department's Foreign Service in 1984. 1984. That's 40 years. 40 years. She's been involved in government in some way, shape, or form. 40 years. When was she born? She was born in 61. So she's been in government basically her entire adult life. Right now she's 63. So at 23 years old, she joined the Department of Foreign Service. 40 years. 40. Life's been good. What does it say here? When she was 1993, she was Bill Clinton's presidency. During his presidency, she was chief of staff to Deputy Secretary of State. Then she went from Clinton to Bush. Then she went from Bush to Obama. You starting to see what I'm saying here? This woman's been in office for 40 years. Clinton's gone, Bush is gone, Obama's gone, and now Biden's about to be gone. She's still there. That's all I need to say about that. It can be quite scary. Quite scary. Yeah, what's her net worth? I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. She went to high school with Fred Flintstone. Oh gosh! All right, everybody. Let me just tell you something about our. Some of you guys have joined our Twitter group, and I greatly appreciate it. I know I've been saying I'm going to do some sort of a tutorial about Twitter. First off, if you'd like to go ahead and join that group, go ahead and go to fanfareshop.org/group and join 11,000 plus members. It's free, completely free. Something happened yesterday. I got an email from a gentleman who said he got kicked off of Twitter. And I get other emails from people like, oh, it's not really free speech. I want you to use Twitter search. And I want you to go like maybe on Elon's profile or Benny Johnson's profile. He's got 3 million followers. Somebody big. And I want you to search the word F you know what. or B-U-L-L, and see how many times that word gets used by that person. You see, free speech does not mean you can just say whatever you want, whenever you want, to whoever you want. I've gotten so many people like, I got suspended, I don't know why. Well, you can't call that woman a B-I-T, you know what. You can't do it. So part of getting to know and finding your way around X is don't be that guy. Don't be that person. Maybe you just lurk for a while. Maybe you start just looking and seeing what other people are saying and seeing, oh, I see how they're acting at this point. Imagine yourself being invited to a cocktail party, a giant cocktail party with a whole bunch of people, and you splinter off and start talking to these people. You're not going to walk up to them and say, what's up, B.I.? No. Hey, Jill, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you got to have decorum. Because if you did that in someone's house, they're going to throw you out, especially if they don't know you. If somebody said to me, Barry, what the F is going on here? Blah, blah, that's different. I know who you are. You're talking to someone who knows you. If you said that to someone who doesn't know you, they're going to hit delete, and then they're going to hit report. Your free speech is based upon the person you're talking to. Now, you can just post something yourself, and then, whatever happens, happens. But just understand, be pleasant. And if it's not being pleasant, let me give you a little hack. If you really want to tell somebody to F off, I'm not going to say the word, but you know what you can do? You can use a GIF. Oh yeah, you ever use a GIF? Maybe let me just show you something. If I were going to create a tweet, let me pull this up. I'm just going to give you a little hack here, all right? I want to do something, and I want to tell someone to F off, right? Let me just go here. See that one right there? You see that? Chef Ramsay? Let me make sure that's higher. But anyway, Chef Ramsay here is telling somebody to, as you can see. You don't even have to say it. You don't have to get there. Your point gets taken. And if you noticed, it's very simple. If you want to hack your way around things, but just don't be that guy. Oops, sorry. All right. But anyway, if you want to join the group, go ahead and click there and join the group. And what else did I want to cover? Oh, if you want to, we're going to give away hoodies tonight. So feel free to go to fanfareshop.org. It is reopened, and you can go ahead and sign up to win. That's it. That's simple. Man, I feel like crap. Complete crap, but I'm getting through it. All right, let's do some super chats. This is from Christine. Thank you very much. Joy Kirkland, thank you. I would love to see Biden not pardon the Obamas, Clinton, and others. I had to reword this, I guess, because of, yeah. You have to play well. Sometimes people think I'm the one doing it. I'm like, no, they will delete stuff before I even see it. Barry, hey, Ellie. Barry, we got to pray for our President Donald Trump. Absolutely. Because people at this point are afraid. This could get really heavy, John says. Yeah, it could get real heavy real quick. Brian Newland, I understand the pardon, so Joe pardons immediate family. Would the treason charges happen for Obama, Hillary? If they investigate something that goes to that level, which is going to be very, very, very hard to prove, if you don't have a pardon, yeah, you're liable. Yeah, you could face it. That's for sure. Let's see here. Barry Canova. Thank you, Barry. Excellent job, Barry. Keep going. Thank you very much. Vishu. Joe better hope Hunter never has to go to prison, because if he does, he will squeal on Joe for a deal. He didn't have to go now. He's got the get out of jail free card. He's good. Glenn Hutchcraft. They are fleeing Washington, D.C. This is going to be good the next few weeks. You watch. They'll be fleeing all over the country. Vishu again. Hunter can't behave, he's going to F up. He might. I mean, I don't know if he's gone through rehab or anything, but it's going to be very hard if he's trying to quit cold turkey. Jay Smith, Putin says WF is targeting Trump. $40 billion bounty. I don't like the fact that he's going over to France either. From the Anthill, that's right. Accountability has finally arrived. Absolutely. Demon of Cybertron. The administration is ending like The Sopranos. Oh, yeah. Watch what happens. Mikorod. How can you pardon yourself and family? How can a pardon be legit if you are not mentally cognitive? That would be a whole nother battle that they would have to fight. I don't know if anyone's ready to fight that one. Again, if you pardon yourself, it means you got something to hide, and then now if you get subpoenaed or whatever, you got to show up. Mama Mima, has a president ever pardoned themselves before? Nope, I don't think so. That's why some people may challenge it. Fernando, get well soon. Barry, thank you very much. D. Lynch, thank you very, very much. From the Anthill again, there's definitely fire below where the smoke is. You got that right, Anthill. Golden Clown 1234. Can Biden preemptively pardon the entire deep state? Nope. It has to be actual people. And I don't think he's going to go do. I mean, he could pardon as many people as he wants, but he's going to have to name them. That would be just crazy. He would have to go through so many people. RBI Sports. Oh, Barry's big fish. What a tangled web we weave when we first practice to deceive. Current DOJ and those complicit take notice. You're going to see. I'm telling you, we're going to see it. Polly Walnuts, great name. I get the fishing analogy. My husband won't fish. He gets sick, was out yesterday, but I'd love to fish with Robin someday. Great job. Yeah, she loves it. She absolutely loves it. Rick Partial. Are Schiff and Raskin leaving the country? No, but you know what? You look at Adam Schiff, and you look like he's the type of guy that would flip. He definitely looks like the type of guy that would flip. Joy again. Thank you, Joy. Is there a way for Trump to ask what those funds went to? And if they have the receipts, can he ask for all that money back from Ukraine? That's a good question. That's a good question, because I read a story the other day that said most of the money for Ukraine doesn't go to Ukraine. It goes to the military-industrial complex. So, Don Connor. Did you see Trump's post with Elvis? Is he hinting at something? I don't know if it was Elvis Lives, but yeah. So Terry asks, where all the money Biden is sending overseas, where exactly that money is taken from? Don't know. And that's why Elon and Vivek are going to dig deep, absolutely dig deep into that, because we need to know where it's coming from. Kingdom Man Hillberry from Cookville, Tennessee. How you doing? Cold up there? Jeff 26. Folks are also forgetting the fact that Biden had the top of his head removed twice. Yeah, let's vote for that guy. You're so right. Sidney Greenman. I would love Daddy's home and he's pissed. 3 major surgeries and I campaign for president from my hospital. Wow. Salute. Very nice. KRO, has any other president have a son that needed a pardon, been arrested and or charged of any crimes while their father was a sitting pres? No, I don't think so. If you go back, well, you can go back quite a while. Okay, look, just think about it. You go Trump, Obama. Before Obama was Bush, right? Clinton. Who was before Clinton? Ford. I think you'd have to go back to Gerald Ford to even have a president with a son. They all had daughters. George Bush had daughters. Clinton had daughter. Obama had daughters. Yeah, so yeah, no. I guess your question would be no. Mr. Krabs, please respond to my email as well. Okay, I'll check. Can I get the email for sending my video? Me blind. Get the email. Not sure if one of the mods can help out Solrak. Raven Crindle, did you see my email about Daddy's home shirt? No, I don't check my email every day. I'll check it today. because a couple of you guys have mentioned sending emails. Joy Kirkland, hey all, I've been slammed with work, but please put that picture back of the Dems Biden and Pelosi took. Hilarious. Which picture is that? I have to figure that out. Excuse me. Lynn Geldmeyer, they hate you, they hate me, they hate America. Yeah, that's true. That's obvious. We can see that now. And Tamara, saved by grace. God will deal with them. Just trust and believe. I firmly trust and believe that. And I am Planet Hermit. I am loving this. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let me go back here. Wake up. From Wake Up. Thank you. BG's Heart 1. Imagine anyone he pardons puts a Trump state target on them. Yep. What have you done? Why did you need a pardon? We will get you if we can. Call them in. Absolutely call them in. Carla Thomas, controligarchs. Yeah, that's a good term. Tanaya, Barry, please take a day or two off to get better. It's all just right here. I don't have any body aches or anything else. Just sitting right here. So after I get off of here, I'm going to go have some tea. And then, 7:30, I won't have to talk too much because it's a recorded interview with which I'll get to talk in between. Can we still win a hoodie if we miss the show? Yes. If you enter and your name gets picked tonight, Ashley will get in touch with you. So yes, you can. Carrie Lemoine, using Titanic analogy, the captain walks onto the bridge, looks up, it's Nancy. Born on the 4th, an idiom. The chickens have come home to roost, comes to mind. It sure does. Christine, thank you very much. All right, so that's everybody right thus now. I think I got everybody. Oh, wait a minute, there's somebody I missed, I think. John, I did say this. John Pryor, this could get heavy. Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. I'm going to go drink some tea and have some soup, and I'm going to take the dog for a walk, and then 7:30, oh, let me just make sure I let you know this. The 7:30 show will not be on YouTube. The subject matter of what this border agent talks about, I couldn't dare put it on YouTube. But it will be on Rumble and on X as well. So look for the notifications. But 7:30 in Rumble. Eye-opening. Extremely eye-opening. The guy is fantastic. James O'Keefe did a movie with him. It's amazing. So that's it for right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look away if you have seizures or prone to seizures. Thanks. Talk to you at 7:30.
Thank you.